Hi, Stampin' Friends. Welcome. 3 o'clock on a Monday. So crazy to be here. Let me just check my connection here. I'm pulling up my laptop on the side. Okay. Looks good, I guess. Yes. All right. So I don't know if anyone caught my live earlier with the Norway gifts. I did tell you I would come on later to show you how I'm making my swap for the trip, which is this really cute patchwork card. And the greeting here is from Just My Type. This showcases a couple of my favorite new things in the annual catalog that has just started. So let me get going with this here. I'm going to just adjust the screen a little bit. All right. That looks good. So I did this with some friends the other day, this little patchwork, and it was a bit frustrating. And I made some improvements since then so that the patchwork pieces are really easy to line up. This group of pieces is cut from a die. It's kind of a, I think, going to be a sleeper that is hard to find in the catalog. You can see it on page 55 where they have a sample that Stampin' Up! Made. I'm pretty much doing the same thing as what they've done here with this die. Okay, this is one of the two dies that comes in the pack. There's one that does like a wavy spread pattern and one that does a regular quilt kind of patchwork. I'm doing this, but I wanted my edges to be more even. So I will show you how I'm doing that in a bit. The other wavy example is here. Now Stampin' Up's done it with a piece of cardstock that they cut with the die, and then it looks like they embossed all the pieces afterwards. I've been playing with that one too, also with the same family of papers, and even just mounting it with all the pieces mounted together on a piece of cardstock. My bubble bath here is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. It's super cute because you see the little stitch lines. You can see through to the pink underneath the pattern that's cut, and in this case I haven't spread out the pieces. In this case I have, so up to you how you want to play that. But let's get started. I'll show you how this works. Okay, hi Debbie, thanks for joining me. Okay, so I have cut a few pieces already. I've decided I wanted to use 2 different pinks, but only 1 blue. So that die makes 12 pieces. And if I cut each one of these pink pieces or pink patterns, I'm going to use 3 of the pieces of, okay? So that will be a total of 6 pink pieces. And then each of the blue, I'm going to use 6 of as well. So I recommend making this in multiples, and each of the pink overall die cuts is going to cover 4 cards if I'm using only 3 pieces per card. Okay, and each of the blue is going to cover 2 cards because I'm using 6 of each blue piece. So I know that's probably sounding confusing. It'll make more sense when I put pieces together. I'm going to show you, I'm going to cut 1 more blue and then put together my patterns to show you what I mean about that. So I've just got a piece of designer paper. The designer paper, to start, I'm using 3 1/2 by 5, and then that just gives a little waste here. And that does kind of all stick together in the die. So let me set this aside. and show you what I mean about putting these together. So I'm going to kind of pop this out, but keep all these pieces in order. And so if I have 2 full die cuts of the blue, that will make 4 of these background pieces. And that will match what these 2 sets of pieces will give me. And let me show you how that works here. I'll just set this up here. So I'm going to start pooling from, let me see if that shows on screen still. Let me pull this down a bit. I'm going to start pulling from the blue and make 1 set of pieces here, and you can see I'm just pulling alternate pieces from my first blue oops, I missed. I didn't do an alternate here. Hold on. I got too far ahead of myself. Okay. Like I said, alternate pieces to make that. And then the other group from that same blue cutout makes this. Okay, now I'm going to fill in with the pink to make a rectangle that looks something like this. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I'm not going to do alternate pieces from the flowers because I'm only going to use 3 of the flower pieces. So I'm going to fill in that corner, I'm going to skip a space, and then I'm going to fill in this piece, and I'm going to skip a space for the diamond or the triangle pattern, and then I'm going to fill in there. So see, doesn't it make more sense if I'm showing you this way? Then on this one, I'm also going to use, I'm going to start there, skip a pink piece, use this pink piece, skip one, and then use this. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in with this pattern. So this is why it's really would be very wasteful if you're using multiple DSP prints. It would be very wasteful to try to only make one of these. Okay, it's better to line up a group and make it in multiples. Okay, so I'm going to fill in here with the alternates like so. Okay, and then what I have left here is enough to make 2 more up here. So I'm going to pull this blue one apart. Same deal, every other piece I'm going to pull. And I recommend you make these patterns ahead on your work surface so that you don't start gluing down pieces and then find out, you know, you were off by 1 or you didn't have the arrangement right. Okay, so again, filling in now, skip a space because that will be this floral piece, right? And then back to the triangles. Oops. See, it won't fit if it's not right. Okay, and then this one will be the flowers. And this one will be the triangles again. Okay, and this one. All right, and so these that are left should go here if we've done everything right. So that, this one, oh, missed this one. Okay, so we're going to make four full rectangles, right? It makes sense because we started with 4 full rectangles of color. It's just that when we started, they were solid colors. There was 2 pink ones and 2 blue ones. Okay, so now to put these together, this is a little bit frustrating if you're just, if you want to lay it out straight. It gets a little bit frustrating to get these edges all lined up, okay? So here I have a bubble bath mat, and I want to glue these down now. And this is what I was doing with some friends, and we were doing this, like struggling with straight edges, you know, kind of pushing the sides together and getting it to line up to get it to look like this. And then I decided there must be an easier way, and came up with a frame for my mat. By the way, this bubble bath mat is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, and it matches the outer edge of my frame size, which is cut with a 1/4 inch margin. And I framed an area where I'm going to put these pieces. Now, I'll show you afterwards how to make this frame piece, but what you can see is if this lines up perfectly and you line up your pieces around this edge, you will end up with a 1/4 inch border. Okay, so all I do then, and I'm making a lot of these because I'm making these for my cruise swap, and this is going pretty fast for my incentive trip swap. I've got a whole pile of these made already by this method. I've just turned over the top row. I like to do 4 at a time. That's about all I can manage. And I'm adding my adhesive and just holding my frame in place. And I'm going to slip this up to the corner. And I like to do the corners first. Slip this one up to this corner. And it does seem like a fussy card with a lot of work, but you'll see once this background's done, it's really quick. And then I'm just going to put these kind of in between. Okay, I'm using wet glue so I can slide them a little bit. Doesn't hurt to have my tweezers to pick up and push a little bit. Okay, so those 4 in place, and I'm going to do the lower 4 now as well. And like I said, I work in groups of 4, and that's been working pretty well. So I'm going to make sure that's still lined up. You can use some temporary adhesive if you want to hold that frame down. I'm putting the corners in place, and then setting these between them. And you can push with your tweezers or a pierce tool to push these around. Okay, and then I've got these last 4. And just a little glue on the back. I'm just putting the glue in the center, so as I push them around, the glue isn't going to show outside of the edges of these pieces. So I know we made a lot of starbursts over the years, but this makes it really easy, and this is so cute because the edges of all these triangular pieces are stitched. Okay, and so then I can pull this away, my frame, and I've got all my pieces. I've got a nice 1/4 inch mat, and of course my best use for my F block is just a little weight to hold that until we're ready to apply it to the card. Okay, so let that set up a minute. Let me show you just how I made this frame. Remember I said it's the same It's the same dimension as this bubble bath mat, 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And I want a 1/4 inch edge around the entire piece, okay, to create my frame. Now you can make different size frames based on how big you want or how much you want your pieces to spread out. And like I said, you don't have to spread your pieces out. This is super cute with just the stitching, you know, pushed right up against each other. So what I'm going to do is take that piece, put the edge over to a 1/4 inch so that I'm going to create a 1/4 inch edge piece here, frame. And I'm going to cut from my marking of a 1/4 inch on the ruler here down to 5 1/4 inch. Okay, so that will stop 1/4 inch short of this length, which is 5 1/2. Okay, then I'm going to turn it and put this edge at a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to cut again from the 1/4 inch mark. This time down to 3 1/2. Okay, so that's a 1/4 inch shy of the full length. All right, and if I've done well, my corner will actually drop out there. If not, I may have to snip it with scissors. It's no big deal. So again, I'm turning, I'm putting this edge now on 1/4 inch and starting my blade at 1/4 inch and coming down to 5 1/4. And then for the last side, again, that edge at a 1/4 inch. So if you're going to make a lot of these, like I'm planning to, I'm doing it backwards this time. I'm going up from 3 1/2 to a 1/4. Because you should use your blade in both directions. But if you're going to make a lot of these, what I was starting to say, it's really handy to have a frame like this to lay over your mat piece and mount your quilt pieces or your pierced pieces. All right, so that is a little description of how you make this. Now you could glue these down a little better. Since I'm putting a greeting right in the center, I'm not really worried about that. So let me stamp my greeting. This is a fun set. Again, just my type. That's what it looks like. That's new annual catalog. And let me just stamp the flowers. I'm using Memento Black. I'm going to color with my blends up to them. Hi guys. Oh, thanks for joining me. Yeah, I'm probably a bit out of practice here, but I appreciate you being here. Stamping my thank you. And then we do have a new circle punch, which measures 2 3/8 that this fits. All right. And I like to color, so this is a fun one to color. Oh, what I did forget to tell you too, I will talk while I color. I've got Old Olive, I'm going to use the light Old Olive, the dark Daffodil Delight, light Night of Navy, and light Bubble Bath. My freebie this month, if you're ordering, is the Tinsel Gems 4-pack, which is a new embellishment in the annual catalog. There are 4 colors. It looks like this. The color you don't see up there is Lemon Lime Twist. So it's a fun, bright spring and summery pack of gems. So any order in the online store, please use the host code shown here of $35 or more will earn you that. I will send you that and a handmade card. It'll come sometime mid to late June because I'm going to be away on the incentive trip here coming up. These are cute, fun little flowers to color. So anyway, orders this month earn that. That's from me. That's not going to be in your order packed by Stampin' Up. That will come separately from me later. Okay, so there we have our greeting circle made. And I have a Night of Navy 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, scored in half, 5 1/2 here, just a basic card front. I've already mounted with a basic white piece inside with some other stamps from this set. So let me put the patchwork on the front. And I hope you will enjoy these dies as much as I am. This is one I would put my block on for a bit as well. But let me get some dimensionals on the back of my greeting. And then I am using another new set of embellishments. These are the adhesive back solid gems. So I've already used almost all of the yellow ones. But I'm going to use a couple blue ones here. To add a little something. I think this is a nice color that coordinates with the colors on my card. So there you have it. So there's that patchwork die. Patchwork Pieces Die is what it's called. It's kind of hidden in the annual catalog. And the paper I'm using, I should have mentioned, is this delightfully eclectic paper. And that name really suits it. There's just a lot of fun, good, interesting pieces here. Love the daisies, love the flowers, cute little strawberries, and then interesting backs too. So this is one of those big packs where you'll get a lot and can make a lot from it. So check that out. That's also new in the new annual catalog. Any questions? Oh, the dates of our trip. We leave Friday, and the cruise is next week from Sunday to Sunday. So yeah, really excited to get there, to see other demonstrators in person. I know it's been so off and on with COVID when we can get together. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Like I said, I think you can make this a lot more simply by using the frame. It's a lot less frustrating. I know for the folks that made it with me on Friday, we didn't have the frames, and it did take a lot of finagling to get the pieces the way we wanted them. Of course, you could do a really random border. It doesn't have to be straight and perfect, but this is just an option too. Okay. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Amy. I'm going to just look through the comments here. So I have been missing the creative part and sharing, so hope to get back to that later this summer. Thank you. Yeah, I love the colors of this card. Too. All right, guys. Well, again, I will post from the trip. I'll at least throw a couple pictures here on the Facebook group to say hello. Appreciate so much all of your support, both my team and my customers. And I can't wait to share some details when I get back. All right, take care.